Good morning to all. Today I will teach you the second chapter of history, and the topic is rise and spread of Islam. So today I will discuss the second part of this chapter. So the first topic in this is rise of Turks. So in that first point, by the 10th century AD, the power of the Abbasid Caliphate was on the decline. Second point now, many of the Arab territories came under new rulers. These rulers regulated many hardy and warlike Turkish tribesmen from Central Asia as soldiers and generals. Some of the Turkish generals later converted to Islam and rose to the status of governors of province. Next point, some of these governors even set out independent states. Next point is the Turkish rulers assumed titles like Amir and Sultan. The ruler of the state of Ghazni in modern Afghanistan carried out a series of raids into India in the 11th century AD. So this was about the rise of Turks. Now the next topic is the Crusade. In the 11th century, the Byzantine Empire was attacked by the Seljuk Turks. They conquered most of the regions except Asia Minor and Greece. Since the Byzantine Empire was not strong enough to compact the Seljuks, it turns to Western Europe princes for help. Emperor Alexis of Byzantium sought help from Pope Urban II in 1095. Responding to the call given by the Pope, a number of Christian armies were raised. Second point, the Christians also wanted to free the Holy Child of Jerusalem from Muslim control. Thus started the a series of religious war between the Christian and the Muslims called the Crusades, which lasted till the 13th century. The Crusades began in 1096. These wars were devastating and many lives were lost. There was, however, a positive aspect, that is, there was increased interaction between European and Eastern nations. Trade expanded and it brought a lot of wealth to Italian and other European trading centers. In fact, merchants and other wealthy sections financed the Crusades. So these all things were about the Crusades. Now next, spread of Islamic culture. So in this different topics are there. First topic in that is the growth of trade and commerce. So first point, under the patronage of the Abbasid caliphs, the Arabs dominated trade wherever they want. This brought them prosperity. To help long distance trade, the Abbasid kept the long route in good condition, maintained camel models, and developed a good banking system. Second point now, Muslim traders controlled the sea routes in the Indian Ocean and the Persian Gulf region. The Islamic urban centers had industries specializing in the manufacture of carpets, perfumes, and goods made of silk, wool, metal, glass, and leather. These goods kept the flourishing trade going. Trade promoted interaction between the Arabs and people of other cultures. The Arabs gathered knowledge from the Greeks, Chinese, Persians, Indians, and Romans, and then spread it far and wide. Arabic became an international language in the medieval period. Next is about Harun al-Rashid. Harun al-Rashid was the fifth caliph of the Abbasid Caliphate. He ruled in the late 8th to the early 9th century. Next point. His region is considered the peak of the period, often referred to as the Islamic Golden Age, that was 8th to 13th century AD. He ensured peace, prosperity, and political stability and patronized poetry, art, and music. He built the famous library in Baghdad that was called the House of Wisdom. He was known for his sense of justice and wisdom. Now, there's one small story which happened in the Harun's al-Rashid kingdom. So, there is a legend that once there was a dispute between two women, both claiming to be the mother of a newborn baby. So, when the case was brought before Harun al-Rashid, he said that the baby should be cut into two equal halves. The first woman agreed, but the second one was alarmed and said, "Oh no, the other could have the baby, but no harm should come to the baby." Harun al-Rashid understood that the second woman was the mother and handed over the baby to her. Now, next topic is literature and philosophy. The splendor of the Abbasid court in the 8th and 9th century under great caliphs like Harun al-Rashid inspired many legends. Second point, some legends later found placed in the stories of Aladdin, such as the name is the Thousand and One Nights. Third point, Muslim philosophers were deeply influenced by the rational ideas of Greek philosophers, especially Aristotle. They translated a number of Greek philosophical works into their own languages. Next is science. Muslim scientists initially studied and translated Greek and Indian works in astronomy, astrology, and medicine. Later, they made new contribution in these fields. The Arabs made great progress in the use of lenses and built observatories that provided accurate astronomical data. They found out that the Earth rotates on its own axis and revolves round the Sun. Arab philosophers, scientists like Raj and Ibn Sena made great contribution in the field of diagnosing diseases. The Arab rulers built hospitals and encouraged the study of medicine. Second point, alchemists searched for the philosopher stone which they believed could turn common metals into gold. In this process, they discovered new metals, drugs, and other substances. They attained great expertise in chemistry and in preparing medicines. Next is mathematics. The Arabs borrowed the decimal system and the concept of zero from India. Second point, the Indian numerals, that was 1 to 9 and 0, were introduced in Europe by the Arabs and hence came to be called Hindu-Arabic numerals. So here definition can also be asked, what do you mean by Hindu-Arabic numerals? Now third point, the Arabs invented algebra. So they also invented the algebra. Now the next is architecture and art. Islamic architecture flourished under the Byzantine and Persian rulers who built palaces, libraries, educational institutions, hospitals, mosques, and tombs. New features such as minaret and the onion-shaped dome were introduced. Second point, Islam does not allow the use of human forms in decoration. Hence, Islamic painting dedicated geometric patterns and floral designs. Buildings were often decorated with mosaics and calligraphy, that is a form of ornamental writing. After this is your the assignment. So you have to do these questions, answers you have to find by yourself. So in this first question is, what do you mean by crusades? Already we have discussed, you have to write the answer by searching by yourself. Second question is, who are Harun al-Rashid? Third is, define calligraphy. This was our last topic. And then D1 is, what form of decoration were used by Islamic artists and builders? Next is, what do you mean by Hindu Arabic numerals? And last question in that is, who invented algebra? So these all the questions you have to do in your copies. Thank you.